its owners and/or associates.
It's that time now to tune into Love Lessons with a Latina, where we talk about love, everything we love, and everything we confuse for love. And now your host, Jasmine Torres Allen. Hello, Nashua. How you doing today? You are listening to Love Lessons with a Latina on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. I hope you guys are doing good today. It is it's my birthday week because it's my birthday tomorrow. Holy
Hey, let's
hey.
go. Let's go.
I'm like, oh man, it really like came up on me really fast. Big shout out to our sponsor, Riviera Nayarit. Shout out to Carla, who's a Latina entrepreneur just killing it in Nashua. Check out Riviera Nayarit on 116 West Pearl Street. For your margaritas, for karaoke tonight, because they have karaoke on Thursdays, and it's actually a lot of fun, and the drinks are made so good, and the food's fantastic. And if you're looking for like the birria tacos, the Instagram tacos, oh my goodness, they have those, and they're delicious. So check them out. You're gonna love them. And if you're ever in Manchester, check out their sister restaurant, Mi Jalisco. So authentic Mexican food all the way around. All right. So today I have my best friend, Kelly, as my special co-host.
Mm-hmm.
If my board up could turn up my headphones a little bit, because I'm like, no, other one. Oh, actually, you're right. You got it.
Yo.
There we go. We're going to talk about social media and relationships. I've had some fun social media stuff. We're going to talk about dating apps too, because I feel like that falls under the realm of social media and technology and relationships and how that all goes. And, you know, I was talking to Kelly earlier, and she was telling me, she's like, I don't have my relationship up on social media. At all, period. There's no pictures. Nobody knows. Neither one of them. Like, nobody knows anything about anything. Mm-hmm. And so I just think to myself, I'm like, that's got to be healthier. You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be healthier, like, to just not have, because then, like, you don't have all the people looking in on your relationship, you know,
right,
placing
all the pressures.
Yeah, all the pressures, setting all those, like, expectations that people have about, you know, someone's relationship. Because, you know, on a lot of the times you see on social media, like, you see them kissing and cute photos together. And I'm not going to lie, I have those on my social media as well.
Of course. A lot of people do.
Right.
A lot
exactly.
of people do.
And I don't know, like, a lot of people that keep their relationship completely off of social media.
It's actually not very common.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different reasons why people might not want to.
Right.
Like, for example, with me and my boyfriend, we don't have it on social media because of the field of work that he's in. And they like to keep it more private just for safety concerns.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just don't have anything on there, and it works better for us.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no comparison there either.
No, I mean, we're both listed in a relationship on Facebook. It's not private. It's not a secret.
Right.
It's just not out there.
Yeah, like, nobody knows who the other person is.
Right. It's not there for the world and strangers to be able to just go and check it out.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, oh, who's Kelianna dating?
Exactly.
And then, form their own opinion on who they're... Because I always feel like, you know, people are like, dang, she's really dating that guy? You know what I mean? Like, that they have their own assumptions and their own opinions.
People check on your relationship.
Oh, heck yeah. And if you're one of those people that, like, frequently post stuff about your relationship on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people keep up with that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's like watching a drama channel.
Literally, it's consuming content. Like,
or you see those people who are in like 7 different relationships a year and you're watching those. Yeah.
And, you know, this is not to bash anybody because, like, everybody's going through their own journeys and stuff like that. But, like, dang, you know, people do keep up with that, though.
Absolutely.
And especially when you make it public and at that. Do you feel like once you make it public, people are allowed to have an opinion?
Still no.
No?
Still no. I don't think people are really allowed to have an opinion on other people's relationships just because your social media portrayal is never a full 100% picture of how your relationship actually is. I'm not going to be telling the internet all of our secrets or all of our aspirations and goals and all that. So there's a lot of things that people don't see. Your social media relationship is supposed to be like the picture perfect version.
Right.
And you never actually know what's going on.
Happy together and
right.
smiling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think about the people who have or share a social media page?
Ew. Ew. Oh, please.
Is it a red flag? Do you
Yes.
think it's a red flag?
It's a red flag to me.
Emotional damage.
It's 100% a red flag because to me, it screams that there's a giant mistrust in the relationship somewhere. Unless you guys are like an older couple. We're talking like 70s and 80s. Like grandma and grandpa account.
Account, right, exactly.
Hey, buddy, what's my password?
Yeah, exactly. But if you're in your 20s and 30s and your relationship requires you to have a joint Facebook account, that's definitely a red flag. There's a lot of mistrust and communication errors that need to be addressed.
Let's talk about a little bit about how social media could be a danger to... I'm not going to say like a danger. I'm more like a roadblock to some relationships, right? And like even dating apps can be roadblocks for certain relationships because like I'll be honest, I met my husband on Tinder and
I met my boyfriend on an app.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and a lot of people are like, dang, you guys met on Tinder? And you know how many bad dates I went on before I met my husband? Like
so many.
Too many. Like I had allowed myself too many bad dates. It was bad.
When you go on Tinder, isn't it something that usually
I don't think people use Tinder anymore.
I
know that's really sad, right? I don't think people use Tinder anymore. I wouldn't know, but like
I think people do, but I think Tinder has turned into more of like a hookup culture thing versus
that's what I was gonna ask.
really
like,
dating.
You're specifically going for superficial hooking up, and that's it. Surface deep.
Yeah.
Now, what were you gonna say, Oscar? You were gonna ask a question, like.
No, I was. She pointed it out. It was like when you go on Tinder, you know exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's hard to find a real relationship in dating apps these days.
You're checking off a box.
Yeah.
Literally. Sad.
No, I wouldn't say sad because like people find
if that's what you're looking for.
Yes, exactly. Because if that's what you're looking for
your
out there, there's Tinder. There you go. Tinder, write me a check, please. But let's talk about how because I remember when Brandon and I decided to become more serious. I had asked him. I was like, "Are you going to delete the app now?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll delete the app." I was like, "All right, let's delete it together." And you delete the app together or whatever. But I know some people are in relationships and I know some people are in relationships and they often
want to keep their options open.
Yeah, they hide on Tinder or they use a different app. I know my sister-in-law used to use Bumble. That was another one, or Coffee Meets Bagel. Yeah, see, there were all these crazy apps where you can meet people.
Never
and
heard
I
of
just
these
feel
apps.
do you feel like there's too many options for people?
There's a lot of dating apps. We've got Tinder and Meet Me and Plenty of Fish.
Would you say there's a lot of opportunity for relationship turnover?
Yes, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. You can go on there and find a new partner the next day, practically.
Isn't that crazy? We have too many options.
There's way too many
options.
And that's why I feel like it's not as serious anymore.
Right.
Because there's so many people out there, you're just not willing to put in the effort to make it work when you can just go get the next person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It could be in a situation where you're just all right, well, I mean, I've noticed some couples or individuals out there that I'll get serious at this point of my life and go through my history and see if that person's available, and delete that app and then move forward into a relationship. But then you notice these women or young ladies or men out there, that are constantly single, re-uploading that app, and
every time. And it's just it's so easy because it's like going to the supermarket basically every time something goes bad. You go to the supermarket, you buy another, and it's
how do you get into a relationship with somebody that you met on the app, trusting that they don't have any other options within that app?
Ooh. I don't know. I think that is establishment of trust.
Yeah, and it's hard to establish trust with people you don't know very well.
Yes,
You
and
know?
I feel like sometimes it might even be too early to be like looking through someone's phone.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, you know, as like depending on what like the timing of the relationship.
Let's dive into that, please.
Yeah.
When is the right time to say, all right, hey, let me. I
like,
want to
here's
give you
my
a
password.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or let me put the facial recognition of your face.
Ooh,
That's trust.
I don't know.
That
that is trust
that
these
is.
days.
So-
Like,
Yeah,
because your phone is like an extension
Of
of
who you
your
are.
person.
Yeah.
So these
it's
days,
your little black book.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
absolutely.
is.
I mean, I know for me personally, with my boyfriend, it took about a month or so, and then he had his fingerprint in my phone. So if he ever felt that
Okay.
he needed to, we have both never felt the need to go through each other's phones. We're very open and honest with our communication lines. So I don't feel like there's anything he's hiding, and he doesn't feel that way either. But there's also that like backup where it's like, hey, if you ever feel like there might be mistrust, here's my password, so you don't have to be worried about it. Like your fingerprint's in my phone, I can't do anything about it.
Did you establish that first, or did he say, hey, can you open your phone?
I did it first
Oh,
for
okay,
him.
okay.
I wanted him to feel like he could
Comfortable?
trust me. Exactly. Especially
Okay.
where my relationship is long distance. So there's more
Okay.
trust that's needed in a situation
Oh
like that.
yeah, that's true.
A
'Cause,
lot
like, Now you
more.
have to add in that extra layer of like you're not in the same state.
Right. You could be doing whatever while I'm not
Yeah,
around. Right.
right.
Exactly.
Hot dang.
Sharing locations.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We
do
do
you?
have our location shared. Yes, we do. Only
Oh.
on Snapchat. So I don't know if you know how Snapchat's location works, but it only updates when you open your Snapchat. So it's not like a constant, like you have the iMessage one where it's constantly sharing each other's
Yes.
streams. But it does update on our Snapchat. He's the only person who can see my location, and I'm the only one who can see his.
I have my location hidden on Snapchat. I never know. Never want people
It's
to know where
creepy
I am.
because it goes down to exactly where
you are. Yeah,
Exactly
and
where
your
you are.
like little emoji
Mhm,
pops
it
up.
pops up in the house that you're in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we trust each other. He knows where I am, and I use Snapchat frequently enough for it to be pretty up to date.
I have heard like girls fight with their significant others about turning on their location.
See, if it's like a requirement thing and you're fighting about it, that's a problem. I
Yeah.
offered it to him for safety reasons.
Right.
So, like, he works in like the law enforcement field, so that kind of stuff is really important to him.
Right.
So that's why I offered it to him.
Yeah, I have my qualms about Snapchat. I also think Snapchat could be a detriment to
Oh, absolutely.
if you're in a committed relationship.
People call it
and-
the cheating app.
Yeah. Oh my god. And you know what? Innocent me. I always think because like I have like 7 friends on Snapchat, 3 people that I like consistently watch their story, like
Yep.
your cake
Me.
decorating.
Yep. Yeah, my cake
Snapchats.
decorating stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
and like people's dogs, like
Yep, very much.
And so like I never think of like Snapchat as a cheating app, but then I'm not gonna lie, I've had an experience with Snapchat, and there's too much room for secrecy
Yes.
in Snapchat.
Yes, there is.
And like there that option or that feature for conversation to disappear after a certain amount of time, or sometimes
it
even
can only
immediately.
save, it can be gone immediately, or it can only be saved for up for 24 hours if you don't save the Snapchat.
Right, exactly. And
So.
so I feel like there's so much room to be as secretive as possible through Snapchat.
But you could do that anywhere, though.
That's true.
You can delete
If
stuff.
you were-
like, you can, like,
No,
Yeah.
I feel like
Individuals-
my FBI senses are tingling. My female FBI.
Here's the thing, though. If you're
senses
gonna
are
cheat,
tingling.
you'll jump through hoops to do it.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are you, in a way, you are right. You can do it anywhere. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
Right.
So
Dang.
it's a lot of work.
It is
it's
a lot of
too
work.
much work for me.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, and like then you have to like maintain your image on social media, especially when things like don't go. Especially if you're that couple that's like portrayed as happy or like you know like the king and queen status, and like
All of a
they-
sudden, you see
yeah.
the breakup pose.
or you see like them taking lots of pictures by themselves all of a sudden, and like you start to see the evolve like
Yep.
of the
the
separation.
unraveling. Yep.
Yeah, and then eventually, like, I always see the post that says, you know, just before everybody starts to ask, and, you know, then they're like, this goes like, me and this person have separated, we're going our own ways, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, I think to myself sometimes with social media is that, like, because people follow up on you, like, they also follow like who you date afterwards, not just who you were like dating. Like they're gonna compare as well, like who
The
you
next
decide
person.
to. Yeah, and sometimes like the next person is a rebound.
Ooh. It's always hard when you know that person is a rebound.
Oh.
Yeah, and it happens very quickly.
Yes, and it burns out very fast, and it's really hard to overcome, I think, sometimes once people establish that judgment.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a relationship with someone and you become friends with their significant other, right? Close friends with their significant other. Do you delete them on your social media after they separate?
No. I still have some of my ex's friends on my social media still.
Okay.
So I dated a guy and I ended up moving to another state and we had a relationship for a couple of years and I became friends with his friends. That just happens naturally, especially when your friends aren't around.
Yeah.
So I do have some of his friends on my Facebook and their girlfriends still on my Facebook. They were people that we hung out with, so I do check on them every once in a while. And I mean, we're not close. I'm not messaging them and having like a constant friendship with them or anything, but I do check on them. It's nice every once in a while. And I still have my ex's mom because she was a lovely woman. She was always sweet to me. So I check on her, make sure she's doing okay.
Oh my gosh.
You know, that kind of stuff. I try not to be bitter with my exes.
Me too.
I
I really try to be on a good note. I think there's only one ex where I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. But like all the other ones were all on good terms, and
yep.
You're right. I am friends with some of them still, like on Facebook.
Yeah,
and I think
I'm friends with some of your exes on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah. Your ex
Dun, dun,
from
dun.
senior year of high school added me on Facebook recently, actually. Don't look at me like
yeah,
that.
if you were not looking at me in the camera, I just gave her a look.
An
The biggest
exclusive.
side eye.
Because you know what's really funny is that individual reached out.
Oh, really? Well, see, you know,
Exclusive.
it all
guys.
makes sense. All of it tied together.
Now,
Dive in.
no, I was gonna say, do those family members like ever check up on you? Like, do they ever like, let me see how Kelly's doing?
So, I mean, no, we've never like reached out to each other and had a conversation, but I do have like my ex's mom will like my Facebook post every once in a while and stuff that she likes. And so I do know that like I'm still there. She still thinks of me, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I lived with the woman for 6 months out of the time that I was out there.
'Cause, like
so
you build a relationship.
exactly.
Yeah.
We would go out and do stuff. We went out to dinner. We would play trivia games together with her friends.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Once you
check on
play
her.
trivia games together, it's all done, son. Like,
Absolutely. We had trivia nights at the movie tavern and all that. So
Let's flip the script.
oh,
Let's say you guys dated the same guy, right? Hold up.
wait.
I'm glad you finished that
Yeah,
sentence.
me too. Okay.
Let's say you both dated the same guy, and Jasmine is currently dating this guy, but your current boyfriend, Jasmine, his mom, has Kelly on Facebook. How would that make you feel?
Okay, so are you saying this in the context where we're not friends, but she's the next
You guys
girlfriend?
are strangers.
Okay, so you're the
Okay.
next girlfriend. How would that make
Okay,
you feel?
how would that make me feel?
That's a good question because he does have another girlfriend already.
Stay tuned, folks. This is a love lesson.
Yeah. That's the no, I was gonna say because if it were me, I guess I'm not that jealous. Like I'll admit, like I'm a little jealous, like for sure, but I don't think I'd be jealous enough to be like, this is really weird. You know what I mean?
Can I give you a male's perspective?
Let me see the male's perspective.
Well, let's say if I have I'm dating a current girlfriend and my mom has my old girlfriend still on Facebook, I'll go through even though me and my ex-girlfriend are not talking, guys will tend to use their mom to channel through and keep their options open.
I don't know because like
What?
that's
Come
a
on,
different
come
that's a
on.
different angle though
That's a
because like
good-
if you're
Come on.
you're
That's a
still,
good point of view.
it
But
is.
But what?
in this, I think in this particular circumstances, like him and I when we did stop talking to each other, it didn't really end on the best of terms. So I don't feel like he would use me or use his mom to get to me or anything like that.
So it really depends maybe on how you leave
Yeah.
the relationship.
But
You know what I mean?
like no relationship like the mother relationship, and vice versa. Sometimes the mom can be like, I don't really like this new girlfriend.
Yeah, that's
I'm
where
that
it
would
me.
make me uncomfortable.
I'm keeping
Yeah.
this other girl
Because I had a good relationship with her, and I know that the new girlfriend, I don't think
they
like,
vibe.
I don't know if they've met or
Ah,
anything. I
see?
have no idea. So, but I do know that the new girlfriend is long distance for him, so she doesn't live there, and I've lived with her. So.
There's an expression in Spanish, and it goes a little something like this. We'll put the caption on the amor de lejos, amor de pendejo.
Oh, you know what pendejo means.
It's like a long love, a dummy love, something like that.
No. Is it
amor de
long-
lejos, long distance love, dummy love, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
In the most polite way.
Yes, yeah.
Radio edited.
But it's
Yeah.
different for everybody.
It is.
Some people it works, and some people it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think in that situation it would make me super uncomfortable. And the fact that the guy is going through the mom tells me that they're not completely over their ex.
Hold up, though. What about what girls do?
What
Girls do the same thing. They have their best friend.
friends, yeah, their ex,
Come on.
Yeah, or
Come
turn it around when
on.
the
Come
when
on.
your friend reaches out and says,
or
they're like, "Girl, have you
know,
seen?"
you'd be like,
who
hey,
they're
I need you to look up
dating?"
this name
Yeah.
to see if they have you blocked because they have me blocked and I can't see anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, why don't you make a fake profile so he...
Oh,
my
no,
gosh.
That's
we've-
terrible.
When
Seen
I
that.
see random, because I'm as a male, I see random like, girls that are like half naked and they have like maybe 2 or 3 common friends, and then like 15 people in their
Fire
profile photo.
emoji, like,
And the fire
noise
emoji and stuff. This is either a bait or this is probably an ex going through a channel or something like that. Delete. See you
Yeah.
later.
I don't know. For the girls that like post up like, more of their bodies like on Instagram and stuff, they're just confident. They're confident women, and like they have a significant other. I always wonder.
That's a great question.
I always wonder, like, does the other partner ever get jealous, or are they confident enough in their partner
That's a
and in
great
their
question.
trust to let them post like all
I think it
these
depends
pictures?
on the security of the relationship.
Right.
You know, I do have a couple of friends who post what you would consider to be like thirst trap posts all the time. You know what I mean?
thirst trap posts.
You know what I mean? They're constantly posting pictures of themselves. And
in
bikinis on the beach, and you know what I mean, sipping martinis, and-
spicy situations.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they promote.
So-
But then they promote a happy relationship.
well, it also depends because some of those people also don't really post about their relationship that much. They might
That's
here
right.
and there, but you know, I
But
do
That's
they
a
have
red
friends
flag.
who
they
don't.
post more of their
Of
trappy
themselves,
pictures.
right?
Yes.
Right.
That's a red flag.
But I always think to myself, like, does the other partner ever feel jealous? Because we had an experience with a friend who did do that, and
Mhm.
like,
and it turned out her partner did feel jealous about it.
yeah, and
Mhm.
but like she gave off that vibe of like he was good with it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I think to myself, I'm like, it's one thing to be confident in the way you look, and like some people are like, I've lost a lot of weight and I just want to finally like show
Yeah,
my
I
confidence.
feel good
off.
about myself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And then there's the other side of like,
The people doing it for the attention,
yes,
for the
who
likes.
enjoy the the fire emojis, or like the girl, like, girl, dang, you look good, like, that kind of stuff. That are, and you
it could be really detrimental to
you
relationships.
can be addicted to like all the likes and the
Yeah,
comments
absolutely.
and the attention that
Validation.
the validation that you get on social media, and especially if it's the attention, the male attention or the female attention,
yeah.
vice versa.
The
right?
attention on Facebook in general, I think, or social media in general, is just very toxic to relationships, especially where there are women out there who don't feel validated by their boyfriends if they don't constantly post pictures about them and write these big, long statuses about their amazing girlfriends.
Right.
And they'll fight with their boyfriends over it because they'll see other guys do it for other girls. And that's
I
a
always
big
felt
problem
like
for
the
them.
woman crush and the man crush Mondays were like a setup.
Oh, God.
Like if you didn't do that,
You were in trouble with
you
your
were in
girlfriend
trouble
that
with your
week.
girlfriend, or like, or maybe like, they're like, you got to be more romantic, and that's what they consider like romance.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
that digital validation from everybody that y'all are doing good.
And it makes certain people feel like their partner isn't proud to show them off.
Right. Yeah. And because that's the other side too, is like people who get jealous of you not posting about them enough.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like on the flip side, like, hey, like, how come you don't post pictures of us together? Because
that can be really toxic.
well, and on top of that, like, it could be also kind of sketchy if someone's not posting about you too.
Absolutely.
Right? Because like
depends on the nature of your relationship.
Exactly. It depends on the nature of your relationship, because you could have someone that you're like dating, and then they're hiding their face in your pictures, or because they're afraid to get caught on social media
with
in another relationship.
Yeah.
And that could be like, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen even married couples where a wife doesn't share her husband at all.
I have too.
Yeah.
I have too. I have a friend of my mom's is like that, where he doesn't allow her to really post pictures of him. It's very sketchy.
Red flag.
Very sketchy.
No, I don't. It depends on the person.
I don't know the reasoning behind it. Like I said, I don't post pictures of mine.
Occasionally about my husband, but I don't actually enjoy like posting up our relationship on social media.
Does the husband have Facebook?
Does he have his own Facebook?
He has his own Facebook?
Yes.
And he can't post, she can't post about him?
Right. But they're married, they live together, so.
That doesn't matter.
But does he post about her?
See, the thing is, I don't know what his job is, and I can't really speak for that because I know that my boyfriend's job doesn't allow me to post
My dad doesn't have a Facebook
for
his job too.
If that's security job, if that's a high security job, and he has
he has his own,
nah.
I think it depends, because it could be a security issue, like the safety of his family in case something come back on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
With IP addresses and their phone and his phone constantly pinging. If he's in a high security job, his phone is a tracking device. So anywhere that he pings, anywhere that he posts, anywhere that he puts if he searches on Google, it will come up. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're registered, everything's public. Your address is registered, where you pay taxes, where you pay your water bill, where you pay your sewer bill. So what type of high security job lets you have a Facebook and yet not post about your wife, or let your wife post about you?
Because it could be a situation where, let's say he's a police officer.
Yeah.
And if he's a police officer and Joe Schmo from down the street that you pulled over last week for a DUI, who's in a whole bunch of shit trouble now with legal fees and everything like that, if he sees your wife driving down the street with a Blue Lives Matter sticker, right, follows her down the street, follows her to your house, and then sees, okay, you are this guy's wife.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a small town.
It could be a situation of an issue of danger like that, or trying to get revenge from somebody like that, or...
You remember the Yellow Pages? Well, now that's digital. And if they have the same last name, she'll pop up.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to do, Kelly. I get it. I respect it. But you can still, if somebody wants to find somebody,
if you're looking hard enough,
you can find anybody.
If you're looking hard enough, absolutely.
I believe women are like really good.
Oh,
sometimes better than the cops.
Say it again.
Finding out information.
Women.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think women are like.
I can sniff you out from a mile away.
Yeah,
I can tell if you're lying to me.
Yep.
If you take a look at our live right now, and you take a look at the left side of the screen, we got our own detective right here from CMO.
Yeah. Megan. Yo, she's the best FBI agent I've ever met. Honestly, like the things that she finds out, man, I'm always like, dang. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Backtrack the channels.
Yeah.
We got our own detective on it right now. What's this guy's name? I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
Now, how do we feel about like people, like especially like relationships where, the man like has his own ideals on his Facebook, and the woman has completely different ideals on her Facebook.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
Okay. So say like, all right, let's say the guy's a liberal.
Okay.
Right? The guy's a liberal. Girl is conservative right winger. And they post completely different things on Facebook.
Oof.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Because, like, I think Brandon and I don't always agree on everything.
Right.
Like, we have different ideas about different stuff.
Absolutely.
And so, like, what do we think about people who do that? And do we hold them together accountable as a relationship or hold them accountable as separate people?
So I think it depends. It depends on like the severity of it all. I know that in my relationship, we are very polar opposites.
Yeah.
So I'm a liberal woman and he's more on the conservative spectrum, central, but more conservative than anything else.
Right.
And so I think it depends on the issues. He doesn't, post pro, pro-Trump stuff. We'll say it. I'm sorry. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
He's not a Trumper.
Yeah.
Which it works for me.
Yeah, that works.
You know what I mean? And so he's not like constantly posting about, gun rights, this, and, immigration laws, that. And as long as there is a decent respect for human beings as people and there's an understanding of that, I think it depends. Now, if you have somebody who is like in the Bible Belt preaching about God on their Facebook all the time and the NRA and this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
it's a little crazy to have somebody who's marching in the pride parades as their partner.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I
So
think
do
it
you
depends.
do you hold both people accountable? Like, because you're a couple, you both
It
think
depends
that
on
way?
who's looking at the relationship, really.
Oh,
Because
okay.
a liberal who looks at a relationship of a liberal person with an ultra-conservative person is going to hold the liberal person accountable, because how could you be with somebody like that? You know what I mean?
Right,
And
exactly.
vice versa. Somebody
Yeah.
who's a Republican will look at another Republican and say, how could you date a liberal? How could you be okay with those liberals?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it really depends on the perspective. So I think personally you should hold the individual accountable.
Me too.
I hold my boyfriend to a certain set of standards, whether he's fiscally conservative and that's why he chooses to be a Republican or not.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think we need to hold people individually accountable,
Right.
because you are your own person
Exactly.
with your own ideas and your own thoughts.
Exactly.
Relationships doesn't mean, when you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean you're a blob.
Right.
That they both have to think together.
Right,
The
exactly.
same thing.
You're
all
not
the
automatically
time.
one entity.
Yeah,
right.
all of a sudden. Okay, so we'll flip it to a much spicier topic.
Oh boy, here we go.
Do we think it's cheating when a man or a woman is talking to another person on social media while they're in a committed relationship?
When you say talking, we're talking like
We're talking about like flirting. We're talking
Yes,
about like
absolutely.
we're saying I miss you, and we're saying
Absolutely.
things like, I'm in a beautiful place right now. Give me a call, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that would be what I would consider emotional cheating. I don't think that all cheating has
Emotional
to be physical.
damage.
Yeah.
Right?
Because some people, like, I really think that's like you're emotionally cheating.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
At that point,
It
and
does
like
not
that,
have to be
yeah,
physical.
it does. Because
Mhm.
some people are like, "Well, I never kissed her. I never,
It
I
does
never
not
did anything
matter.
physical."
You stayed up all night. You stayed up till 4:00 in the morning texting with that person. That's emotionally
That's
cheating.
emotionally cheating. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, because some people would be.
Absolutely.
What about the flip side, where the other person's like, "Well, I never did anything physical, so I don't consider that cheating." Now you're just
Just a
leaving
tap.
me for your insecurities.
Well, it's not my insecurities if you can go behind my back and talk to another woman as if you were never in a relationship at all. That's not my insecurities. That is what you did. Okay?
So should you leave someone? Should you leave someone if they are caught, quote unquote, emotionally cheating?
No physical?
No physical.
So, I know a lot of people are going to have different
Opinions.
on this.
That's why I asked this
Absolutely.
question, because I was like,
Absolutely.
there's so many different opinions on this.
And how long have you been into the relationship?
Oof, because that you take that into account
Is it
too.
early?
How long have you been collectively together, and how long have you been together in a committed relationship?
So, I think that at any point, if you start a relationship with someone that you are exclusive with and you're saying, hey, we're really doing this.
Yeah.
If you turn around and even if it's been a month, even if it's been a year or 10 years, and you are talking to somebody else on the side and you've got the I miss you and it's getting to that point, you are emotionally cheating on that partner. And I don't think that you should stay with them, because if they can go behind your back and do that, what else are they willing to do?
Now, quick question, if I may. What happens if you're committed with your new partner? You started this relationship, but your ex is now, because we got those crazies out there. If you don't come back to me,
Las
I'm
tóxicas.
gonna hurt. Yeah,
Yeah,
las
las tóxicas.
if
Oh
you
my
don't come
God.
back to me, I'm gonna hurt myself.
Oh,
no.
God, those people.
are big red
First of all,
flaggers.
get
Oh.
help and call the
Yes,
suicide
please,
hotline, please.
That is a serious,
That's a big red
serious
flag,
matter.
but-
Yes, and
So-
if
La
anybody is thinking,
manipuladora.
anybody that's thinking of harming themselves, please seek help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Southern New Hampshire
Absolutely.
Medical Center
But there
Solutions
are,
Health.
yeah, absolutely, and there are a lot of people who do use that as the
As an excuse.
excuse
Yeah.
of like, please stay with me. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and that I feel like that's when like it's time to leave. Time.
Well,
to
you're already
exit.
gone though. In this situation,
No,
you're already
I
gone.
mean in the sense because like sometimes you're on that teeter-totter of like leaving that person and like
And
you're
they
still
pull that one
talking
out.
and they pull that card out in the sense of like if you leave me
gotta go.
I'm gonna I feel like that's the end of the end right there.
Absolutely.
Stockholm
because-
syndrome.
No, because at that point the last tactic they have is manipulation
And gaslighting.
Yes, and gaslighting, and at that point, like it's not going to get any better from there.
And then it doesn't even have to necessarily be that situation where
Right.
just like you start a new relationship and then their ex comes back along. If they're entertaining their ex, that's a red flag. It always has been and always
So-
will be.
What if your ex is your baby mama?
So that's
Oh.
a different situation.
Is it though?
If it is though, because you can have a civil relationship as co-parents with the parent of your child, and it doesn't have to be a situation where you're asking them how their day was and starting with a good morning and a good night text every night, and it doesn't have to be like that. Like
Or
there
how's
can
my
be a
baby
healthy
doing?
co-parenting,
Yeah, how's my
right?
baby
Oh,
You
he's
say, "How's
sleeping.
my baby doing?"
He's sleeping.
And-
No, I'm
exactly.
talking about you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, as long as it's not a situation like that, I think there's obviously needs to be a healthy level of co-parenting for the child involved. You know what I
Right,
mean?
obviously, and
But yeah,
I've seen some guys in situations where they have 3 babies with one baby mama, and then I have a couple of other baby mamas, and that's how they hook up with them. They're just like, okay, you know what? This chick is crazy, but I like that crazy. Would you like to get on? Oh my god.
I don't know. Some people are addicted to the toxic relationships, though. And
yeah.
What about people? Because I sometimes feel like people also get addicted to cheating, like emotionally cheating online.
And like talking to other people behind their partner's back.
Yeah, like sometimes I feel like you get addicted to that secret attention. You know what I mean? Like the taboo of
Yeah.
like
Or the chase.
We could get
or
caught.
the chase, yes, or the chase of like having to pursue someone like that too, because
Right.
you can get intoxicated by that.
Look at me,
feeling.
Susie. I still got it.
Now, what about like, because sometimes there are people who post on social media like, I still live with my ex,
Ugh.
but there's nothing between us.
No, come on.
If you are still living with your ex,
You're Thunder Buddies.
get out.
If
Get out.
If you're still living with your ex, you're Thunder
And
Buddies.
let me say that
Oh, I
from
got
from the
scared.
perspective of somebody who did have to live with their ex.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I broke up with my ex in the end of August, and our lease didn't end until right after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So I
Yeah.
had 3 months where I had to still live with my ex, and you're not really fully broken up until you're
you've
gone.
yeah, that's what I've
Until
always
you're
said.
gone.
Until you like
Sublease
you've
it.
really
Until you leave.
separated
Absolutely.
out of each other's spaces.
Absolutely.
Have you really ended the relationship? Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it didn't like fully break until then. Absolutely.
Sublease it. Get another roommate.
Get exactly.
Sublease it.
Exactly.
Get out of
Get out while you can. I fully suggest
Run,
it.
Forrest, run.
Now, when do you think it's appropriate to announce on social media when you're in a relationship?
When it seems healthy.
When it seems healthy, you think?
Yeah,
You
of
wait
course.
till then?
Yeah, when you
I
have when you're aligned. When I think it's important because all of a sudden, when you announce and you put yourself out there, there's some demons that this person might have or some skeletons in their closet
That might shake out.
That might shake out.
And it
But
can be healthy right away depending on how your relationship starts.
Right.
you
know?
No, I get that, but you might hear it from somebody else and you might not hear it directly. So all of a sudden, when you have that conversation from a complete stranger than the direct person, that complete stranger might paint a picture of that individual that they're probably working through.
I don't know. Is it a red flag if you're dating someone and they still haven't posted that they're in a relationship?
How long?
If it's been like 2 years.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, get out.
Yeah. If it's been 2 years and they're
Guys,
still
I'm
not
a red
posted-
flag.
Oh, Oh, no, Jasmine.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Love Lessons with a Latina. Jasmine Torres Allen.
The red flag of the day.
Let's go.
It's true though. I didn't change my relationship status until like 2 years into my relationship.
Why though?
I don't know, and I think I struggled with it, and only because I didn't want to pull the trigger.
You're also a serial monogamist.
I am a serial
so,
monogamist.
you know.
Please elaborate.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is Jasmine's always been in long relationships.
That's
She's
good.
always had like a boyfriend for many years
Yeah.
and then gone and had a couple months off and then another boyfriend for many years. You know what I mean?
Commitment strong.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So I
So-
think for you it was like that
It takes
worry.
a lot of crap to happen in order for me to like break up. My loyalty is strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it takes a lot for, for you to break up, right? But is that the mother in you that's just like,
I don't want to give up. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't want to give this up. Like
I think that's
because
important though.
but that is important, but it's dangerous at the same time because it kept her.
In
And
situations
it did
right?
keep you
longer.
in some
You
situations
spoke about
long.
this before.
Yeah, I have.
That's
It
true.
did. It did keep
That's
me in
true.
situations.
It's a
for
double-edged
But
way
you also
longer.
learned what's worth fighting for and what's not.
True.
So
And
that's also
that's
important.
absolutely true. I've learned to differentiate what's worth being loyal to.
Because our
and
generation
what's
is really
not.
quick to just throw a relationship away. Like we
Oh,
were saying earlier,
100%.
with the Tinder thing, you can throw away a relationship and go
I
into
know
a new
someone.
one.
Exactly.
I know someone who like wanted to dump someone because the other person was too emotional,
Wow.
and like it was within the first year, and I was like, oh my god, like you guys can totally work on that.
Yeah.
But my perception is that like if you both choose to actively work on it together, or whatever the situation
Actively,
is,
keyword.
or your relationship, right? Like you actively choose every single time you have a hard moment to work on the relationship.
But you still love them and
then
that
you
they're worth it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm a serial monogamous, because like every time I feel like I'm in a position where like I give that person the room and the opportunity to be able to step up and work on the relationship in that
Right.
way. Yeah, but I didn't post my husband and I now. Like I waited 2 years to change my relationship status, and people were like, "Congratulations!" And I was like, "We've been together for 2 years."
Yeah, seriously. You guys have been together for how long has it been?
Now
7? 6, 7?
I think it's
In
gonna be
November?
7 in November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Here's another one though. What about couples that are in relationships? They put that they're in a relationship status, but when you go on the husband's post, you can't see his status. But when you go on the woman's post, you can see that they're married to that individual. They click on that individual.
Oh, so you
they go
mean
back.
like it's shared publicly on hers, but not
Exactly
his?
right. It's
Well,
no different than being married and hiding
Guys,
your wedding ring.
why are we calling out my red flags?
I promise you, I had no idea.
So here's the thing. On my Facebook, I have it set to say in a relationship because I am in a relationship,
Right.
but my partner is not tagged and it is not listed on my profile. You
Yeah.
have to go to my About Me section in order to see that information.
And in my About Me section, you don't see whether I'm in a relationship or not. Like, period. It doesn't say
It
I'm
doesn't
married.
show
But
married or anything?
Brandon, it does, but it's not public.
Okay.
And Brandon's is set to public.
And
you can
it
see that
says
it says
married
married
to
to
I'm
Jasmine
proud of this
Torres.
Boricua.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
but like
She's mine.
and it's not because like there's no like fear aspect of it. I just for some reason
Right.
like I don't want to give that much information.
You have
out.
pictures of him on
Yeah,
there.
me
so
too.
It's
So
not a
like if
secret.
it's not a secret,
Right.
like people know I'm married and I'm very open and,
Right,
and
exactly.
vocal about
And
it.
you wear your beautiful ring every
I
day.
do, and it's awesome. But yeah, like for some reason, like I just don't want people who don't know me, like on a because I do a lot of stuff in my
Exactly.
own lives,
Right.
and like I do a lot of
Run a
public
business.
work. Yeah, so I don't want people to be like, oh,
To go
who
Facebook
is
diving on your
yeah,
family's
and
pages.
yeah, and going like about me and
Of
seeing who I'm connected to because it's
Exactly.
not really fair to the other people too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I always wonder about like celebrities, like that's why they keep their relationships so under wraps
yeah. They
sometimes
don't even-
until
I
like
have
big
a
things
friend
happen.
from high school on my Facebook page who uses an incognito name because she's in a band that travels the world and is a famous, well-known band, and
Yeah.
she can't have her social media out there like that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
that's exactly it. Like even like Rihanna, like
Mm-hmm.
no, I bet you nobody knew she was with ASAP and like that.
No.
She was
I had
pregnant. It
no
was
idea.
So secret.
No
When it
idea.
like opened up, like everybody was like,
and she's
"Holy,
like pregnant.
yeah,
She-
she's like really pregnant."
She has
Yeah.
a strong PR team.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Clean up,
like
clean up.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
honestly, that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the strongest PR team I've ever seen.
Mhm.
But like now I can see why people would be like, trying to hide their significant others, especially if you're in
It's a safety
the
concern
aspect
sometimes.
media. Yeah,
Depends on who you are
absolutely.
and why.
Yeah.
If you are just Joe Schmo, works at the grocery store, and you won't show off your girlfriend, that's a little bit more of a red flag.
Yeah, like if you don't introduce that significant other in person.
Exactly. Who nobody knows you're even in a relationship on your social media.
I think about this all the time because we're constantly like now, things are about to change. Things are changing every day for us, here at the business. And I was wondering, like, we have this discussion, should we pull back a little bit? Because we're giving, like, even here at the air, we're leaving everything on the airwaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
What more do we have to show to the world, and that they can hear directly from us? And it's a constant struggle, and definitely protecting your loved ones. Like, my wife is not the type to be able to put herself out there unless if it's something that we're marketing, and it's at a business strategic move, right?
Right.
And the vulnerability and stuff.
And I've learned now, like, what to post and what not to post.
Right.
Like,
How
and
vulnerable to
I'm
be.
so I'm learning slowly, like, pulling
we're always
back on like certain things, because I use like Facebook as like my personal diary, and I just post that on everything. And so I learned, like, after a while, I was like, I really can't be out here posting everything.
Right.
Like, it's and people have like such a perception of who I am because of like social media being as strong as it is, unfortunately. And with the pandemic, people not getting to know each other in person.
But I feel like we were even trained to do this when Facebook first started opening. When you wrote a status, it would say your name is, and you were supposed to tell it what you were doing. What are you doing?
What
And
Jasmine
so we were
Torres
sort
is
of
doing.
like trained to talk about what we're doing all the time.
Right. So like,
it's a good call.
Because I think about it back. I think back now. I'm like, we used to post like everybody just collectively would post whatever came to mind and whatever they were doing, and like and like people would make fun and say like, oh,
you don't have to post what you're eating every meal. Yeah,
I remember those jokes. But now, like, we all can't wait to see pictures of food.
Oh,
like,
we love food Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
Love
like,
it. Love it.
It's kind of insane. Wow. So social media, what do we think about social media and relationships? Does it add to a relationship, or do you feel like it helps break it down?
I think it depends on the couple themselves. I think that if you are holding social media to such a high pedestal where you need to be showing off your girlfriend or your boyfriend all the time, that can be really toxic, and eventually they're gonna slip up and not do it, and you're gonna take that as a red flag, like, oh no, he's gonna leave me, he doesn't love me anymore. Whereas
my trophy wife.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you're keeping it off of social media but it's not a secret, you have to find the fine line where you're not keeping it a secret, but you're not just posting every single thing. I don't post when my boyfriend buys me a gift or when he gets me flowers or this and that, the other. That is not for the world to know. Right. Nobody needs to be shown off of what I'm getting, and they're not.
And I always feel like, we put our partners on a pedestal, when we do that. Like, like, oh, they do this for me and they do that for me. And then the moment they mess up,
right,
and then you then you see the not just girls but guys too, who post like these the memes that oh, like, if she really loves you she'd do this, or like if he really cares he would do that, if they you know what I mean, like then you start to see those posts.
Not every person is thinking that way,
right?
Then people sit back and they go, oh, this poor schmuck.
Oh. Something's going on in that relationship.
And then they're getting their popcorn and waiting for the Facebook drama to unravel.
and then they go, and then they're judging, and they go, huh, that didn't last long.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think it's more healthy to keep the intricate details of your relationship off of social media. Don't be a secret, but don't go posting about them all the time. It's not for the world to know. It's for you.
Right. And I think, too, that, like, once you start a constant stream of like relationship content, you feel like you have to keep up with that, that image you've created. And that's so much harder for your partner to always be that standard that like you hold to them to in social media. And sometimes your partner's always perfect, you know what I mean, and like they don't always do the right thing or say the right thing, or like you said, like, get flowers for me all the time, you know what I mean. And for me personally, I feel like social media can be a relationship killer.
Absolutely.
And just in the sense of like, because we compare ourselves to other relationships
Yeah.
when we can't keep up with the content, like we
He
get
never posts
stressed.
me.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just so many thoughts that like when it comes down to the nitty gritty, don't matter.
Yep.
Like don't matter at all. And so, and I think it's just, there's too much room for cheating. There's too much room for, just non-monogamy stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's too much room for cheating and too many new things, I feel like, for open options for partners.
And too many people trying to convince other people to cheat, or the men and women's DMs.
Oh my god!
Oh,
yeah, the slip through the
DMs and the unsolicited pictures.
Oh, what about that? Like, just we have like 5 more minutes, but like, I didn't even think about that. What if you find pictures of someone else in your partner's DMs?
See, it depends. Are you telling your partner? Like, because if I receive something like that, my first inclination is to tell my partner about it.
Good.
That's just who I am about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got hit on at work recently, and the first thing I did was text my boyfriend and be like, hey, would you consider this to be hitting on me? Because I think it is. And he was like, absolutely. So I was like, well, this just happened. So, you know what I mean? That's my first inclination. Not in like a, hey, I want you to be jealous kind of way, but more in like a, hey, I want you to be aware that this situation happened and it's not something I'm trying to keep from you. You know what I mean?
That open line of communication.
Right, exactly.
I do that too, actually. Like, a moment I noticed that, like, and because sometimes I'm oblivious to it too.
Or
like,
sometimes I'm overthinking it and
just being nice. Exactly.
You know?
And you don't know.
What happens if your significant other makes 6 figures? You don't know what she does for a job, but she's an accountant.
And uses her social media
and
to advertise.
Are we
that
talking
she's
like an
accountant.
OnlyFans accountant? Because
Absolutely.
that's what it sounds like.
And you had no idea. And you had no idea.
I mean,
Is that a deal? Is that a deal?
it depends. I feel like sex workers are real workers.
Me
And they
too.
have real
No,
jobs.
absolutely.
So
But what happens if they didn't disclose
if they're not
that and
disclosing it to you, that's a little bit of a red flag.
I feel like
because,
that's a red flag if you're
you
not
know,
disclosing
why aren't
it.
you disclosing it with me?
Yeah.
What's going on behind the scenes of your account that you wouldn't tell me that? You know what I mean?
But I think that if they're right off the bat, like telling you, like, "Hey, I'm a sex worker," then I mean,
it's your prerogative whether
You
You
like
know
this
what?
lifestyle, right? I'm paying for this Benz that you're
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
that's what you
yo, I
do,
make
honey.
3 times
Hey,
rent.
Yeah.
if you can have the confidence to be like, hey, thank you for paying my rent. Here are these pictures. You know, whatever. Exactly.
Listen, I love these topics, but I just have an announcement. I have an announcement that
Okay.
there's an exclusive piece that we're about to drop the 14th of Love Lessons with a Latina on our Patreon. And
That's right.
you guys are in it, which let me tell you something. We sat down with a viewing. We did a viewing party of this specific Patreon video for Love Lessons with a Latina. And let me tell you, it's a banger. Like my God.
It
I'm not
gets
trying
a
to-
lot spicier, a
Yeah.
lot
Lot.
nittier
Unscripted.
grittier.
This is the after
unrated.
dark
Yeah,
version.
it's the
Uncensored.
after. It's Love Lessons After Dark, uncensored, full content. We're talking about sex. We're talking about how it gets done. We're talking about all the
Who
nitty.
gets done?
Who
Where
gets-
it gets done?
where it gets
Why
done.
it gets done?
It gets
all of
nittier
it.
and grittier. So you have to wait till the 14th, which is Valentine's Day,
And we're dropping this.
and we're dropping
on
it
our
on
Patreon.
Patreon.
So make sure that you follow us for all of our content, especially Love Lessons with a Latina, for these conversations. I know that we sometimes got to keep it PG. on the
Yeah,
radio,
we got the FCC, we
But
got the lawyer on the phone.
yeah.
You know, like so up to a certain point, and because like it's also noontime, people are having lunch. You know,
Yeah.
getting their
Yeah.
kids in the car and stuff like that.
Right.
So we can't always have the conversations we want to have.
Exactly.
But it gets nittier and grittier.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
It's a lot more fun. So you guys have to check it out. February 14th. It's me and Kelianna. We're dropping off. We're starting off with her episode because we have more guests.
Oh yeah, coming up.
And it just gets even better. Guys.
Spicy.
Like it gets even
Spicy.
better.
Yeah.
And just to, drop a little bit about what they might find, topics they might find on After Dark is like we're talking about like polyamory, we're talking about transgender relationships, we're talking about
Kink.
Yeah, we're talking about kink. We're talking about sex language, the type of sex language we use, and like
Don't give them too much.
but
in.
you got those topics coming and they're brewing. So I want y'all to tune in for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly, for being my special
Thank you for
co-host
having
for
me.
my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Turn 28 tomorrow.
Hey, 28. Let's go. Another year of life.
Let's go.
So tune into Love Lessons with Latina next week from noon to 1. And big shout out to our sponsor, Riviera Nayarit, on 116 West Pearl Street. And check them out because they have amazing margaritas.
And where can you find their sister restaurant?
In Manchester. Mi Jalisco in Manchester, their sister restaurant. So, I'm all about supporting Latina entrepreneurs in general, female entrepreneurs, because it's twice as hard for us. So, check out the content, guys. Check out First Gen Multimedia, our YouTube channel, our FGMshows.com, our website. We're expanding. We're growing. Check us out.
Let's go.